Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing wonderfully well today for something really different. I've got some lovely boys here and we've decided just to have an informal chat, and this is about video making in the realm of DCS. I'm going to first introduce you to the guys and then we're going to have a little look. I am Cap from the Grim Reapers. This here is Fox2 Productions. Now, I mean, forgive my ignorance. I don't follow many guys' YouTube channels, and it's just because I don't have any time, guys. I'm so, you know, the tiny bit of time that I have off GR, I have to do the garden or I have to do something for Alison. You know, here's the funny thing. I used to love watching YouTube. Oh, hang on, sorry, I've gone off on one again, haven't I? Let's carry on. Fox2 Productions. Say hello, Fox2.
Hey guys, how's it going?
I should say, it's up to you how much information you want to give away. I am 40 years old and I come from the southeast of England. How about you, Fox2?
I'm from the east of England as well.
Whereabouts?
So, Lincolnshire.
Cool. Okay, yeah, I've been up that way many times. Very cool.
Awesome.
And obviously we've got a YouTube channel and videos, and we'll talk about that next. GS has a very cool voice. Hello there.
Hello everybody, I'm G.Skouras of GS. Most people know me as Skouras. I'm 41 years old and I'm from Greece.
That's Greece.
Recently I'm living in Athens.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. I'm surprised you don't have a Greek, what I would consider a Greek name, like Flobobobopoulos.
No, this is actually a Greek name. It means in Greek dark.
Right. Okay. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, and then we've got L.A.West. Very cool. Any information from you, sir?
Yeah, I'm L.A.West on YouTube. I live in the south of England, near just south of England, and that's basically me.
Roger, you sound a bit like one of our guys, Chopsticks. You remind me. You must be, from accent-wise, you must be roughly the same age and roughly the same part of England. That's cool, guys. Okay, and just to remind the valued viewers, we're just going to have a chat. Apologies for my voice. It is going to be a bit terrible today because I've just had my second jab. Excuses. Okay, guys. So, I don't know. Where do you want to start? Why don't we go through each one of us, and why don't we talk about how we got into making videos, the reason for getting into videos. I'll start, if you don't mind. God, now depressingly, it was an awfully long time ago. Let me think. Must have been 2014 for me. Okay, guys. I'd recently split up with my girlfriend at the time, and so I had time on my hands. And I'd also stopped, for various medical reasons, stopped playing in my bands because I used to play in a lot of bands, and so I had time to do things. And what I discovered was, let me think, guys, X-Plane 10 had just come out back then, and so I got hold of that. And the first thing I wanted to do, because of just how of that weird gene that I've got, and the same one that you've got, is that I had to make videos. So I just started making videos. There must be out there somewhere on the internet, 2013, something like that. Make terrible videos, but I did that, and then I wanted to make videos of, and bear in mind I had no community or anything. I didn't know anything back then. I just downloaded it and wanted to do that. But I wanted to have like fire guns and stuff like that at people, and you can't do that in X-Plane, obviously, or you couldn't back then. And so then I discovered DCS. Now I did that because back then it was a lot smaller than it is now. It's positively massive now. Back then it was a real niche little thing, actually quite hard to find, I think. And I found, now let me think, it was a guy, I wonder if he's still doing it. Oh, Commander something, it was Commander something. And he was just making just generic videos, and I saw that and immediately got into DCS, downloaded it, and started doing that, and started making videos from that. And I had no real ambition to fly or anything like that. I just wanted to make videos. My first videos were, again, on the internet somewhere, probably 2014. I went in the public multiplayer, because I only ever did multiplayer, and I went to, I think back then it was called Virtual Aerobatics, I think. It just so happens it was run by someone who would become friends with later on. And I would just plonk my little camera down on the runway, and I said, everyone, come to the runway at wherever I was, Batumi or something, and fly about and let me film you. And that's all I did. Whenever I had some time off work, I would go and do that. And in one way or another, I kind of it snowballed, and here we are today. But that's how I got into it. For those reasons. Fox, have you got a story behind yourself?
I do. So DCS has kind of been a thing of in a distant realm for me. I only actually got into it around 2 or so years ago, and I remember the first thing that really got me into the cinematic side of it was a video by another friend of mine who is also in the cinematic realm, just like me, Skouras, and West. His name is Adrian Carapso, and he worked for Heatblur, doing the Heatblur F14 videos. And I first remember watching, I can't remember if it was Anytime Baby or This Is War, but it was either one of the F14 early access or launch trailers. And so I remember watching that, and I thought, wow, this is absolutely amazing. And even back then, this was 2 years ago. And considering the massive leap we've had in DCS at the moment with 2.7, the game kind of looked ugly before, in my opinion. Yep. Before 2.7, the game looked kind of ugly. But then looking back at it, I can still look at the 2.5 version of DCS that was running on then, and just thinking, wow, look at it. It's amazing. It's absolutely brilliant how well it looked back then. And just how different it kind of looked to the base, just get into a random Caucasus game, and it's just amazing. And so I started looking at that, and I got more into it, and I looked into the whole thing. And the first video I actually ever made that was some sort of a cinematic wasn't even a DCS video. It was a Flight Simulator 10 FSX video. Yeah. With a random F14 mod that I downloaded, and I just made that, and that was my first ever video, and I got like 100 views on it. And then it's unlisted at the moment. I'm sure if someone wanted to find it, they could dig it up from somewhere. Mm-hmm. And then I just actually started playing DCS only like a few months after that, because I saw the F14. I was like, yeah, I want to do this. This is amazing. And so I started making videos, and at the first they were really crappy, but as I kept going and I learned more and I kept watching all the different videos, especially from the Eagle Dynamics channel by X Downs and Glowing Amram, that type of stuff really got me a lot better, and that's where I basically just kept going and going and going and going until I basically am where I am at the moment.
Roger. Awesome, man. So, okay. What about UGS, including some rough kind of years or dates? Just helps me put these things in perspective.
So I'm the newest one. I was a big fan of Fox2 Productions and L.A.West and Alpha Whiskey and Glowing Amram, which, in my opinion, is the Skywalker of DCS, cinematography. And Adrian Carpazzo, of course, is one of the best out there. So I don't have any story. I will tell you one thing, because I have told that 2 days ago to Fox2 Productions. And many people now ask me, what is the first step to start making cinematics like that? And I say to them, you know what, my friend, the very first step, major step, by the way, to start making cinematics like that is to divorce your wife. That's it. And because it requires a lot of work, a lot of hours, to be very dedicated, stuff like that. So that's the story behind me. I like those creators here that we have today, and I was a big fan, a huge fan. And I started, slowly. I didn't have any clue how to record at first. I was using Shadowplay. Still, I'm using Shadowplay. And I didn't have any clue what I have to press to start recording. So now I'm making cinematics. I didn't have any clue at all. That's the story. That's a simple story.
Roger. Awesome. Just a point to pick up on. In fact, 2 points. Fox, you were talking about looking back and how the graphics have come along. And I remember I was just going through my own channel the other day. Just I had to update some things in the videos, and I went back and just looked at ones from kind of 2017. God, everything is so flat back then.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
texture's so flat. And here's the weird thing. Now, because I have a bit of a weird brain, I don't notice it getting better. I never notice it getting better until I look back a few years and think, oh my God, that is terrible.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
It really is. It's
It's-
weird,
it's-
isn't it?
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's because it just comes. I think it's because when it improves, it comes in little steps. They put a patch out, and it's little, and then things slowly get better and better and better. And I don't know. Are you something to do with the HAF? I've just known seen some HAF. They're a group, aren't they? GS.
Um,
Or are they not?
no, I don't think so.
Doesn't
I don't
matter.
know.
It's just coincidence because I had another guy from a group called HAF contacted me. So just ignore that. Okay, right. Thank you.
Oh,
GS.
you mean the squadron?
Yes, the squadron. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, DCS half. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was one of the creators of DCS half.
Oh,
yeah.
right, there you go then. Yeah, because they contacted me,
yeah.
and I've flown with you at least once, I know. And I've just seen lots of video of your videos saying half. So
Yeah,
you're part of that.
yeah, but I'm flying with Locon Greece now.
Yeah.
It's the oldest squadron in Greece here. Yeah, but I was one of the creators. Yeah, great guys, both of them.
Lock on Greece. They're going to be in this year's SATEL, aren't they? Have I got that right?
Yeah,
Right.
that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, because I know I think we've flown against you, or at least I've seen you guys flying in SATEL. So that should be
Yeah.
interesting. We've just gone from the four man teams to the 6-man. So we're in the 6-man teams this time. So it should be interesting. Awesome, guys. Well, next, and certainly not last, we've got LA. LA, your story of how you got into it, please.
Oh, it's more of probably with everyone else, love planes, maybe a bit more severely than most people. So you kind of just look for games that can kind of satisfy you. So I started off with FSX, games like that. And, at one point, I'm not really sure how, I just saw DCS, downloaded it, left it for ages because I didn't really know how to get into it, and then just kind of picked it up after some cinematics and started recording. So that's it.
I was flying way before. I was flying the game Flanker before.
Wow.
Yeah, that's 41 years or so. I was a big, huge fan back then.
No, I was never. I somehow managed to skate around it. I had EF 2000, that game about 20 years ago. But I never managed to find Flanker somehow. I always managed to miss it. Yeah, yep. And this, I was into this kind of thing, but just managed to miss it. And then I went away from games for a decade and a half, and then obviously came back. It's weird how you come back into games and you somehow kind of find your way home. I find with DCS, I found my way home. It seems to attract. I'm sure you guys would agree. It seems to attract a certain kind of person. The kind of person who, I don't know you guys, but I can't play normal quote unquote video games. I can't play, I don't know what games are out there, but because there's you don't have to invest anything into it, as in, what is it, guys? You don't have to
unlock things, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, it's with DCS, you've got to put a lot of work, and it is hard work. Learning how to do these things.
It's constantly a work in progress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Always you get new things, new toys to play with. I mean, I'm waiting right now. Everybody waits for the new Mosquito or the new helicopter, the Russian helicopter. And every time you're gonna get new things, clouds, terrains, maps, whatever. That's why I keep, making videos about it. That's great. It's an art for me right now with the 2.7. It's like a painting. It's great.
Roger, especially at the moment, like you said, it looks really, really good compared to a lot of the stuff.
And I guess with DCS as well, it's more like normally games come out, there's hype, and then it kind of dies down. But DCS, every module is like a major, or it's a new game, isn't it? So that's why.
That's a really important point, isn't it? Because, like you said, the new Star Wars or whatever will come out. I'm not into that stuff, and everyone will be raving about it for 3 weeks, and then everyone's bored, and then the next whatever will come out. Whereas this is like a kind of slow burner that just sits in the background. Completely different way of thinking about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just going to put this here so I can see your voices. There we go. See your voices, you know what I mean. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Okay, so that's good. Out of interest, what softwares do you guys? I'm on OBS. What do you use to record?
For me, I use just the normal NVIDIA Shadowplay.
Yeah, me too.
That
Yeah,
works
for me,
best
it's OBS as well.
Now, I don't know about you guys. I started with Shadowplay, and it was fine. I really liked it and preferred it. But it stopped working for me. It started just turning itself off halfway through after about a year.
Really?
Yeah, and I can not get to the bottom of it. It's even doing it on my... I've upgraded my computer in the last few months, and it's doing it on that. So I thought, okay, fine. And then I had to go to OBS, which is fine. It's not as good as Shadowplay.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
But you know, it's just what I went to in the end. Did you have that problem, LA?
No, I just kind of started with OBS and never kind of left it. Got the good settings, so
Yeah, OBS is great, but for me it's a little bit more heavier. I don't know why.
It is. That sucks. Especially with I've got a 3080 graphics card, and for some reason it takes up so many % of that card just using running OBS. Like, it's horrendously inefficient. I'd had a 1080 card before that, and it used less of the 1080. So
I'm using a 2060 right now on a 21:9 1440p monitor, so FPS is kind of a luxury for me. So whatever I can get with that doesn't destroy performance is what I need. So Shadowplay is great because it works directly off the GPU.
It does. There's no messing about, and that's why I'd love to have it back. But it is what it is, guys. What about the editing software? What do you guys use?
Well, okay, folks.
I use kind of I don't know how niche it is. It's called Filmora. It's kind of a basic editor, but the thing is, with the cinematics that I do, the using like crazy effects is not my style. It's just one single timeline and clips and clips and clips going over and over and over. So usually the editing software doesn't exactly matter for me. It's more what's actually going on in the game. That's the big deal. So yeah, instead of using some like really expensive crazy software, it's just better off using a simple kind of one that runs well and doesn't crash half the time.
Yeah. So that was the first thing that I have to start making cinematics. That's a problem because I didn't have any clue how to edit, and I have searched on the internet which one is one of the best out there to searching. It doesn't matter if it is the best program or not. Right now, I have started with that, was DaVinci Resolve. The reason for that was because I love the black color that has, and it was it has a lot of effects. It has shaking cameras. It has a very, very good color correction that I was searching about it many hours. And once you learn about it, you can use anything you can with that. After that, I start to using After Effects. Sometimes it really depends what I'm going to do, make logos or, But as Fox2 says that putting effects on cinematics of DCS, it's not good. I really like to watch, what the game it is actually, without fires and stuff that is not existed in the actual gameplay. That's the programs that I'm using.
What about you, LA?
Well, I started off with Cyberlink Power Director, which was really good, but it has a cap. You do as much as you can, but with softwares or like that, it was pretty good, but until you kind of reach the limit. So I kind of just reached the limit with that, and I just want to do something more. So I moved to DaVinci Resolve, which I can't recommend it enough, especially for a free thing. I ended up upgrading it because my computer didn't really like it too much. So, but yeah, the amount of effects you can do, like on the two recent cinematics I've done, I've experimented with depth of field as a really great track.
Yeah.
In DaVinci Resolve.
So you have the payware edition.
Yeah, I ended up just getting it just to
consider that.
Yeah, because it's a one-time payment as well compared with
Yeah.
So once you have it, you get free access to every other thing.
Well, After Effects, it's great also, not at the level of, in my opinion, sorry, with DaVinci, but it has one thing that I like is that it has its subscription. You can sub every month, so you can use it whatever you like, how long you like. That's great.
Yeah, I just think with DaVinci, it's such a massive program.
Yeah, it is. It is.
For the money, you'll never, discover all of it in a year.
And they use it actually professional cinematographers.
Yeah.
That's great. The color correction, that in that stuff, it's great.
Yeah, and especially for a free program, the
Yeah,
stuff you get for free ones, and the thing is, it's not. Normally free things, there's normally a catch, but the only catch with this is just, it's kind of leading you into a better one. So, the free version is not bad. It's actually phenomenal, but
Exactly.
Aware is just better. So, yeah.
Roger, guys. I use. I've been through various. I've looked at various ones, bought various ones. Suppose I should have sent them back, and I've come back to the one I started with, which is funny because it's not a very good editor. I don't recommend it to anyone.
Which one?
What is it, guys? What do I use? Hang on, let me just. It is called. Hold. I'll just start the bloody thing up. VideoPad. It's called VideoPad. It's from Australia. It's pretty cheap, about $50. Now it's really useful for me. I have different, requirements for you guys. I need to put out about 3 videos a day, about 3 hours worth of footage a day, and so and I don't use any filters or effects because it's not about quality. I'm not trying to put high quality stuff out, and so it's just about what works reliably and fast. Because a lot of some of them kind of pro ones that have got really good reviews and stuff, they're just too slow for me, and it ends up causing problems. I need something where I can just chuck in 3 hours of footage, a relatively high bit rate, and just be able to bang, cut straight away, get it out, get on with the next one.
You're doing the editing by yourself?
I do everything myself.
Every video.
Yeah, I do everything. Yeah,
really?
I have to. I can't. People have offered to help, but I'm like a control freak.
I thought that you have other people. The amount of work that you have, it's amazing.
No, that was my problem. It's my downfall as well. I'm massive OCD, and so I have to work so. For instance, before I met Ellison, I ran my own business. Nothing to do with aeroplanes. It was cars, and I would have to work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's just how my weird brain works. Ended up getting cancer. Didn't work out very well. So now.
Oh man, this is great.
Exactly. Now I've met my wife. Then she forces me to only work. I'm only allowed to work 9 hours a day, and just over 5 days a week, and that's what I have to do now. Otherwise, it would just be all day again. That's just how it is.
My wife, when I was sitting on my computer for over 6 hours, it's making sounds like a radar warning receiver. Me.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. So, the annoying thing is, though, I've had loads of people offer to help, which is really great. As you know, there are some just genuinely really good guys in this kind of weird community that we have. And but I have to have control over everything, and I just can't hand it off to anyone because I have to do it myself. It's just how it's always been. It's how it'll always be, which is fine. Anyway, so that's the story of why I've used my weird bit of Australian software that for me is just perfect. Low quality editor without much stuff that comes with it, but it processes quickly, so you can just chop.
Yeah.
So I guess the moral of the story there, for if people watching and wanted to know how to get into their own editing, I guess really I think you have to find your own way. For me, if you're going to do like me and you're going to blast lots of videos out, get something like I have. If you want something where you've got a lot more detail and a lot more control, then like DaVinci or whatever that you guys are looking at. I guess that's the best advice. Any other advice you can think of giving in terms of that?
to watch other creators, to get fresh ideas. I mean, to create something that you never saw again. It's very hard, even for me. Actually, it's very hard to find a very good music. It's very hard to make a cinematic. It's one of the hardest things that I have to hours and hours to search for good music. Other than that, I mean, you have to be very dedicated to be ready to spend many hours of your life.
Roger, guys. Yeah.
I guess one thing I'd say to people who want to get into cinematics, because I don't have much knowledge on other sides of the community, but if I was gonna say one thing to someone who wants to get into cinematics in general, or movies or whatever, just something to do with creating a movie kind of thing, is be original for one. One thing, this is just my opinion on this thing. I don't think it reflects on anyone else here, but when I see people who want to first start out with cinematics, they have no idea about what to do, and so they usually watch an Eagle Dynamics video and then use the music from that. And I feel like that's just kind of like a unfaithful, kind of like a rip-off of it. And so, like, there are really, really good sites to find just really, really good music for cinematics, because you can have such a diverse range of music for it. So instead of like looking at someone else's cinematic and just taking that and redoing shots and stuff, look for different types of music from all these different sites. I mean, there's non-copyright sounds. There's probably a load on YouTube. You can spend there's millions and millions of songs on YouTube that you can use. A lot of non-copyright stuff. It's great. There's a really wide spectrum for cinematics music that you can use. I mean, my most recent video that I did was completely different to anything else that I've done. Like, usually my cinematics are quite orchestral. They're using a lot of music by a person called Thomas Bergerson, who Eagle Dynamics likes to use a lot of their music, which is really orchestral and stuff. But I went to a completely different song. I went to something, I forgot the genre of it. I don't know what it's called, but it's a song called Mayday by The Fat Rat, and it's it's a very upbeat kind of song, and it really works well with 2.7. So if you want to get into DCS and cinematics, just kind of be original. That's my kind of thing. Don't go out there copying people.
And if you're looking for music, just search up, trailer music. This, that's where it begins for me.
Yeah.
There's just so many good things out there that
Roger, guys. I'm a little bit jealous. I don't really have time to put music. I used to love. My favourite bit of the video was, I don't particularly enjoy doing the video because it's just work, to be honest. It's just sitting there chopping bits and moving bits. It's just work. The bit I used to enjoy was at the end, once the visuals were done, I don't know how you guys do it, but this is how I would do it. I would then go and add the scores, which obviously were just, like you said, no copyright music from various sources. And I used to love putting the different scores in, or different songs in for the different bits of atmosphere. This bit's got to be worried. This bit's got to be action. This bit's got to be relief and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that bit. But like you guys said, it does take a long time to sit and get that stuff right, which is, personally, I don't have time to do it anymore, which is annoying. But and just feeding off the point, I think that's Fox said. Again, I get a few people saying, how do I get started? What should I do? Stuff like that. And again, my advice is always the same, which I went for, which was, I'm sure what you guys would agree with as well, which is that, again, really do what makes you happy. That's the way I've personally done it. I've done the things that make me happy, and I get a lot of stick, and just don't do what people want you to do. Just do what you want to do, and then one way or another, that will work out for you. It'll take a long time and a lot of hours, but if you do what makes you happy, then that's the way to do it.
Yeah, how you grow as well. I started with one which I hope people don't watch. But
same here.
I did 2 of those. Looking back, I'm not happy with them. But then I was just, I made something, proud of it. But then as well, you just do that. I got lucky. I posted a F14 video around the time it was released, and there's quite a bit of hype then. So I got quite lucky, and then I kind of blew up from there. But it's just you just do what you want, as you said, and
Yeah,
just
well,
hope
you
that
can make
find
them
what you do.
happy, everyone. I
Yep.
mean, sometimes people say, "Oh, come on, man, I want rock music. Come on," or the classic one. Why did you kill the MiG-29?
Yeah.
So the next time I make a video, I kill, for example, Tomcat. Come
And
on,
they all
man,
get upset.
Jesus Christ, you killed the cat. Come on, you can't make everyone happy. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to. Yeah, that's a classic problem every time.
One of
I
the
like the MiG-29.
Going back to what you said, Cap, about how doing what you love, cinematics are kind of, push and shove with in regards to like views, and I think everybody has kind of a thing where it's like you want to do something that gets views, and that's kind of like drives like the clickbait kind of thing. But with cinematics, it's like you can even get a load of views or you get no views. But the thing is with me is like I've been debating whether to go to try and do some more casual content that might get more views, but I've never done that, and it's just due to the fact of cinematics are a work of art in my opinion, and it's I don't want to break away from that kind of thing about it's original, it's something that I love doing, and going on to it, changing the style would, one, not benefit the channel, and also it would be completely different to what I'd want to do. There's no point doing something that you don't want to do. There's no point uploading something if you don't like.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not genuine, and you won't be doing your best, in my opinion.
That's really, really good thought there. I'm just kind of gathering my thoughts as we speak on that. But I mean, I'm in a bit of a weird position because I've taken on a lot of responsibilities now. So I am doing some stuff that I don't want to do. Most of it I do want to do, but some is kind of, okay, I've got some responsibility now because of, so I've got have to do some stuff that I don't want to do. But I mean, every now and then you just have to sit and get back down to earth, if that's the right way, because I get caught up in this thing as well, chasing lots of chasing views and stuff like that, and I always think at the end of it, kind of, what's the point? Why are we actually doing this? Like, from my personal view, if I wanted to go make lots of money, I would not do it in DCS. I know how to make money. I've had a company that made a lot of money, and this is not the fucking way to do it. You can work your arse off and still only get a measly. Like, I'm lucky. I'm one of the few that makes the full-time wage of doing DCS videos, but it's not a good wage, and it is a lot of work for not a very good wage. I'm not complaining. This is what I want to do, but sometimes you need to kind of just sit down and think, what is it I want to do? For instance, I just started. I saw another YouTuber. I better not say any names because I don't want to get people in trouble. But I saw another YouTuber did a video about some stealth fighters battling each other, and I thought, oh my god, he's done so well. Maybe I should do that. And so I went and did it. I went and made a little video about 2 F-22 Raptors, and he got loads of people, tens of thousands of people watched it. I was like, but the thing is, it's not actually what you want to do, and it doesn't make you happy. What's the point? I'm just not interested in these modern fighters and stuff that I don't want to do it. And so I think you're absolutely right, guys. I think you've got to stick to what you actually are interested in. I don't know. I can't think of a better way of saying it. I think LA said it the best way.
Yeah, I'd also just say that it's different for everyone. So right now we'd be saying our experiences with it, but as in for you, Cap, I think you don't really like the editing, right?
Not really. The editing is just work now that he's doing. I'm happy to do it, but yeah, it's just work.
But that's the thing. Like, I'm the polar opposite. The editing for me is probably the fact I'm doing cinematic well compared to.
Actually, I mean, I'll take that back a little bit. Back when I was just doing kind of when I didn't have any commitments, I've got commitments now. I have to cover every feature that comes out. I've promised to do that, and so it's become a kind of job now. But back when I was doing it purely for fun because I wanted to do each video, then I did actually enjoy the making of it. Then because you have kind of chosen to do it as such. But now once it becomes just your day job, you start to hate the cutting and pasting.
Yeah.
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 For,
No, I mean,
for anyone trying to get into cinematics, because you're probably watching this hoping that, but yeah, just see how it goes in the first bit. You know, sometimes you might just sit back like, oh, why am I doing this? You know, recording in DCS might not be going well, but for me, you know, sometimes the clips I'm least happy with in the game turn out to be one of the most just with the most, I don't know the word for it, but gives you the most joy. You know, you edit it together and you kind of just sit back in your chair like, yes, you know. So yeah, just
Absolutely.
try it.
Mm.
Also with cinematics is there's kind of like a ratio of like filming to editing, and with me that ratio is about 30 to 70.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't
So
it?
so if you don't like editing, well, I guess that's tough because you're definitely going to be spending a lot more time editing than actually recording.
Yeah, and again,
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
it because my experience is positive with editing, or sometimes it's just frustrating, but it's also just compromise as well. That's something I've learned to do.
But yeah, like you're saying, with I've only done a couple of cinematics out of thousands of videos. I've done a couple of cinematics, and God, they suck the time, don't they, guys? Hours and hours and hours, and as well as that, as you know, when you're doing cinematics, you've got to get it perfect. Everything's got to be perfect, and you can spend tens of minutes on getting one thing perfectly aligned, and absolutely. I mean, I don't think you could do that kind of thing kind of from business wise, but yeah, I know what you mean.
To put some things into perspective for anyone who's viewing this is, I recently uploaded a video. Well, not recently. It was about a month ago. That I put in the Grim Reaper's IFF film festival.
Oh yeah.
And that was a 5-minute 30 video, and that had over 1,000 clips in that
I've
recorded.
I've never done 1,000 before. That was amazing.
1,000 clips, and it took about 2 months
Wow.
of going in and getting clips, editing it in. Usually my routine for that would be, okay, I want to get at least 3 good scenes in for this. So, you know, I go in one day, get these scenes of all these different aircraft and shots and stuff, and then I'd scatter them across the video, because there's no point having one F-14 in the middle and then having an F-18 at the end and a 16 at the start. You want to get it all, mixed up. So, and then that's basically how I was doing it, was just going in, getting the clips, putting it in, next day for about 2 months. So yeah, it was a workload, definitely.
Which one?
How many hours? How many hours did you work every day?
For Onwards and Upwards, which was the IFF one, that one, depending on the day, it was usually probably, for weekends it was maybe all day, because I had nothing else going on.
Yeah.
And in the weekdays, maybe about 5 hours in the evening.
Yeah.
I can't see it on your channel. Why can't I see it on your channel? I'm just looking and I've gone back like 11 months. Is it not?
It's the 4th video along in the
Oh,
Upwards.
sorry. Yeah, it's just me being me. Yep. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, guys. Yeah, absolutely.
And that was pre 2.7, so it was even harder to get the shots looking nice.
Oh yeah,
that really is. Yeah, really is good, guys. Yeah, one thing that people don't realise. So I have personally, I don't know what you guys are like, but personally, I've made sure that I've never down thumbed a video, and I've never done a negative comment on someone else's video. And the reason why I've done that, probably wouldn't have done that unless I'd made movies myself, and that is because I know how much work, I can tell by looking at a video like this, how much ridiculous amount of work, you're not getting paid for this, you're not getting anything for it apart from achievement, but you're doing it and you're putting it out there. So I could never, hence why I could never. And I think a lot of people don't realise, when they come on and see something like this, don't realise it's literally you banging away at a mouse for 2 months. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you've done it yourself, and then suddenly everything changes, and you realise. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think with the dislikes as well, I don't mind having dislikes on my videos, but I think if anyone is going to dislike, I'd really wish they would add a comment why.
Yeah.
It's weird,
I have
isn't
a
it?
couple, who dislike it and then they say why, and that that helps way more than putting a thumbs down. So and then I have to wonder why You know, is it this or this, or maybe something I've done wrong? You know, it just helps so much to, you know, leave a dislike just because something you didn't dislike, and actually say why. You know, it helps. You know, more than just.
Yeah, there's a strange thing in. I'm going to sound all old now, but there's a strange thing in modernity where it's. I don't know if fashionable is the right word, but it's almost kind of cool just to go around hating everything. I don't know why. When I was a bit younger and watching YouTube, I could never feel like that. But I guess it's just how it is nowadays. But one really useful tool I've come away with. I've over the years I've had loads and loads of negative messages and abuse, and you know, some of it rightly so. One of the best tool I've learned from doing what I'm doing in handling that is to sort, in terms of the negative comments and the down thumbs and stuff, is to learn to sort the wheat from the chaff. So to learn what are the haters and just, you know, learn to filter them out. Obviously, it's a skill you have to develop. I'm sure you'd agree. Just got to filter that out because it has no constructive use to anyone, even themselves. And filter that out and separate that from negative comments, but that are actually being constructive. They're actually saying, you know, and they're sitting and taking their time to write a paragraph out to say, I don't like this because of this. I don't like this because of this. And actually think, oh, actually, maybe you've got a point. Maybe, and I've learned a lot from doing that, and that's a skill. And you have to kind of, like I said, detach yourself from the negativity and take the good things from it, which is a skill in itself. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah. Because one of my cinematics where, you know, some criticism was really welcomed was, I think it was DEF CON. You know, probably haven't seen it, but it's just, where was it? Yeah, towards the end, I had different missile audio for the shots being fired, and I never, because in editing, you know, you only watch a couple seconds, then you go back and kind of tweak things,
right.
and then, you know, seconds by seconds. But then, you know, after it came out, someone said, you know, great job, which is, you know, thanks for that. But then also just said, you know, the missile audio is the same. And I was like, hang on, no, it's not. You know, you go back and it is, or, you know, they weren't all the same, but a lot of them were. So it's just, you know, comments like that, avoid that in the future. So
Some people say it. Some people say it. Yeah, that's great. And one thing that I always do wrong, I always forget about it, that Matt Wagner has wrote to me many times, is I have seen the same comment with the other creators also, is the tail numbers. You can see a formation for aircraft, and everybody has the same tail number, 010, 010, 010.
Oh, I never thought about that, guys. I've never thought about that.
I mean, I didn't have any clue about it. So Matt Wagner said, great video, but you have to change the numbers. And if you use carrier aircraft, you have to put 300 or 400.
Well, how do you? I'm being a real dick. I'm running a real idiot here. How do you change it? Do you change it in the mission editor?
Yeah, mission editor.
Tail number.
One of those things you never think about.
For F-16s, everybody has the same tail number. Everybody.
Yeah. Right.
I had a comment like that recently on my most recent one. It was about the Spitfire in the video. It was about just being all the same. And that's a fair enough comment, so I took it on. And yeah, next time I'll definitely use some more diverse Spitfire skins instead of the standard D-Day one.
Roger. I guess that's more relevant to you guys, because you guys are doing high quality with lots of detail. You know, no, I don't think anyone's ever said that to me. But you know, when you got 40 planes in the air flying with each other, I guess. Yeah.
But let me go back to you, and you know, you have OCD when you make the videos. It's a bit like me. I've a pretty big problem when it comes to you know, making these videos. Like, oh, are the tail numbers right? Are the nav lights on when they shouldn't be? So in Adversary, like I noticed some nav lights were on, so I had to actually blur them out.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
To record the shot, because it's a pretty good shot if I'm honest, but you can't even see.
Are you going to remake it again?
Oh no.
If you said that's a problem. I was making something. Excuse me. I was making something the other day for 1 minute. I was spending 6 hours, and in the end, I was ready to rendering, and in the end, it totally crashed. the editing, the program, the result.
Oh, that's
And
horrific.
I forget to save it so much. Oh my God.
Oh, that happened as
Jesus
well.
Christ. No.
Oh, well, I tell you what, guys. I tell you what. That's actually a really important thing. Going back to what I was saying, why I have my software. Mine, if it crashes, and it does a lot, but if it does, it's got this auto backup feature where you don't lose anything. So every second,
Really?
it saves in the background without you knowing. And then if it crashes, which as we know it does, because all this software is a bit stupid crap at the end of the day, load it up and it says, "Would you like to get your last wing?" Ping, nothing lost. It's beautiful.
Oh, that's
Love
great.
that. I love that.
I have to press Control S every time. Always.
Yeah, it just got something happened like that, and I just sat in my chair. I was like, "Oh God!" And so I had to take like a 2-day break because I wanted to film it.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time I do something tiny, I'm just like, "Okay, let's save it." Even if I move my cursor, sometimes I'm just like, "I change it." Yeah, and I'm gonna just save it, guys.
Yeah.
My worst. I do a lot of big ones, 2-3 hour videos, mission videos, and again, very different to what you guys do. And I don't have I'd have a kind of about 300 cuts in them usually, 300 to 400 cuts in a big 2 or 3 hour video. It's just what I do. And because mine, what I'm doing is I'm chopping loads. I'm making all the 300 chops, and I'm moving everything about. Very quickly, again, quick. Alison has me off the computer at 10:30. If it's not done by 10:30, I'm screwed. So everything's chopped, and moving about. And what I tend to do in at least one movie is just leave a cut in by accident that is completely irrelevant and wrong. And so most people don't notice because, let's face it, who actually sits and watches a 2-hour video at the end of the day? Do you know what I mean? But I know it's in there, and I've left this just in the middle of a big Harrier dogfight. All of a sudden, all the sounds are loud, everything's right, and suddenly it just stops in a black screen for 5 seconds because I've left this goddamn thing in the middle. And for me, and by the time I realise it's too late, it's up. It's got 1,000 views or whatever. And it's like, oh God! And like, why? And then nothing you can do about it. It's out. It's uploaded. You're screwed, and you have to live with that fact that thing is out there now.
Yeah, it's the case with the missile audio as well. Someone pointed it out. In the case, it's me not noticing. It's the same audio for a missile shot every time.
Yeah.
It's already out.
Yeah,
great.
And unless you're going to start unloading videos from the internet, which I don't think any of us are that OCD. You suck it up. Error. And on a serious note, we're all human at the end of the day. We're always going to make cock up somewhere. So I just have to kind of learn to live with it, don't you?
Yeah.
Off topic. I don't know what you regard off of movies for a second and on to flying. Obviously, you guys like flying as well in DCS. I don't know. I fly all of the modules. I've just made it my responsibility to cover all of them, so 41 or something like that. And I mean, a while ago now, maybe 6 months ago, I'd reached saturation point where I just can't learn any. If I learn anything new, then I have to forget something else. Because there's only so much. Even doing this pretty much full time, I've reached saturation where fine, the new Hornet blah blah comes out, go and learn it. Something back there has to be lost. A MiG-21 radar or something has to be lost. And for me, it's this constant balancing act, and it's a skill in itself of learning, not even learning, but maintaining what you need to know just to get by. I don't know. Not that many people have this problem, because what I've noticed, even other people, really keen guys who have all the modules, they spent their $2,000 or whatever, they only maintain 2 or 3 planes. And then when they go to want something else, then they'll lose another one, lose one of those planes and take up the other and maintain. And that's the way to do it. Obviously, no one can. But I have to maintain all of them, and it's this constant, really annoying balancing act. And so I've created little shortcuts in my mind of how to not. So I don't remember things anymore. I remember how to remember things. I have these little routes of going around the cockpit to figure out how to remember. Does anyone have anything like that, or is that just a me problem?
Yeah, the same thing happens to me, but recently I have bought two modules that I didn't have because I wanted to make a scene. I never flew them, but I wanted to make a scene, so I have to buy them. That's a classic one.
Yeah, I did it for 21, but I also blame ED for this because their trailers just instantly get my wallet out to get these, like the Hind trailer. I wasn't thinking of getting the Hind, well, ish. I have Cinematic ready, but these trailers are like, right, okay, that's confirmed. Put the nail in the coffin for where just money to be spent.
I have make a scene with bombs falling at the F-18 flyby, and I didn't have any clue how to drop bombs without the aircraft, visible. And I have to go to Grim Reaper's channel to see the tutorial about it.
Well, but here's the funny thing, guys. I don't remember any of that shit. Every time I've got to remember how to do something, I have to bring up my own videos. I'm like, how do I do this? I can't remember how to do this with a JDAM and that with a JDAM. How do you remember all this stuff? A real pilot couldn't remember that stuff. So, it's funny. Oh, blast. What was I going to say? What were you talking about, LA?
Just the blame ED for making good trailers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's also another thing. I don't know you guys, I don't know your ages and stuff, but when I was a kid, I loved collecting Airfix models. The plastic models. You get them, SU-27 and F-15, all of them, and you paint them and you hang them on your wall or whatever you're going to do with them. Put them on your cupboard. And I just love doing that. And for me, this is kind of a new way of doing that as well. So I feel like when a new plane comes out, I have to add that to my collection. I know it's virtual and you don't physically have it in your hand, but I just have to have that now. I don't know. But
yeah, I know that's with me.
A lot of the. Go on.
No. I don't really have a point. You go.
A lot of the magic of doing cinematics is you don't actually need to really rely on a lot of the modules unless you're doing a lot of your really complex shots and stuff. You actually don't. You only really need a core set of a few modules. Like at the moment, it's kind of like a trend I've seen with like what modules are kind of relevant for cinematic videos. So kind of at the moment, it's a lot of F-16, a lot of MiG-29, a lot of F-18 and 14, because those are all the new, cool, relevant kind of stuff.
As well.
Yeah, the more famous modules. And so, I mean, I've never had to put something like, I got a modules list up here so I can actually check. I've never had to put something like a MiG-19 in here. Nothing against the MiG-19. I think it's a really cool jet and Razbam's done a really good job with it. But I've never had to really use that. So if I ever want to get a shot of that, I'll just use AI. If I want to get something like, let's say, a JF-17. Like personally, I don't own the JF-17. I don't plan on buying it.
Same.
Because
unfortunately, it's great.
It's a cool aircraft, but I don't plan on using it because I have something like, let's say, the F-16, which could do just as much, in my opinion. So I'll just use something like like the AI version. And if I do need to get a particular shot, I'll just get someone who does have the JF-17 into a server.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff you can basically just get away with AI. If it's just flying across, in a straight line at 30,000 feet, well, that's just AI's job.
Right. Yeah. And well, that's the other thing. These are all $80. That's a lot of money for your average guy. That's actually a lot of money, especially when they just keep coming out. I know we've had a bit of a blank phase at the moment, but when one's coming out every month, it's like, really? Another $80? Really? You know how many videos it takes me to gain $80? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's when glowing AMRAMs cinematics. Normally with me is it's so much money. There's no denying it. But then you just see the videos like, well, it's just be one payment. I can, and then you kind of just get it. And then, yeah.
A lot of the modules that I own, I actually just fly like normally in servers, and anything like else that I don't have. Well, one, I don't fly them, and two, usually I just static stuff for cinematics, so it's not really that useful for me. But I have bought the maps. A lot of the maps I bought. The only thing I haven't bought is Normandy. but because I bought Channel, but I actually don't have any World War II aircraft. The only World War II aircraft I have is the TF-51, the one you get for free, and that was simply just due to the cinematics, because it's a World War II map, and I needed one. I needed a good World War II setting that wasn't like the sea of the Caucasus.
Yeah.
So, it was... if it's for the cinematic, I'll buy it. Like,
Same
a lot of the stuff that when I look at at modules now, I think, is that fun to fly? No, I'll just get it for the cinematic. Like, that's my mentality at the moment with buying modules.
Yeah, because I found a bit of music that just fits the Hind so perfectly that that it just kind of forces my hand on the trigger to get the Hind, despite the fact that I know I'm not going to fly it for fun.
Yeah.
But just like the whole story behind it's just it's worth it in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm much more. I'm not particularly interested in modern aircraft, and we've only got a few anyway. We've got what's modern. We've got the JF-17. I guess the F-16's kind of modern-ish, but yeah, I really look forward to things. I genuinely look forward to things like the Hind. I don't know what year they've taken it from. I'm guessing 80s. I don't know. You guys could probably correct me.
It's the P variant, so yeah, probably around then.
Yeah, that is right up my alley. For me, the absolute perfection of I don't mean the DCS model in terms of the actual module itself, but in terms of the age that it's at. It's like the A4. I always love flying that A4 for mod, and especially now it's got a proper or relatively decent flight model. It's just the right age of technology for me.
Yeah. The Hinds in the 70s. I've just searched it up. So even
is that even the P model in the 70s?
Yeah. Hind P 1972 is when it came out.
Great. That's gonna be perfect for me.
Yeah, totally.
But I've got. I don't know. I'm just. I get lots and lots of people always asking me to do modern stuff and looking at modern stuff, but I'm just not into it. But I don't know. I'm just a bit too old for it.
Most people want to use the modern era.
Yeah, it really gets under my skin. Everyone keeps asking me to use the Raptor, or use the
Yeah.
But for people who actually, I don't want to sound a bit kind of elitist, but people who actually care about what they're flying and want it to fly at least, realistic and have the realistic systems, and me, you, us lot, we're not interested in going and flying a F-22 model, are we? You're going to do that for. And stuff like that, and
you know which module has the most crazy fans? It's the F-14.
Yeah.
It's like Manchester United or something. It's crazy. Those people are crazy.
It's got a real special place in history, though, isn't it? It attracts a lot of people. I mean, find someone who doesn't like the Tomcat. I'm not saying everyone's like. Everyone's the biggest fan, but find someone who actually doesn't like the Tomcat.
It's a great module, if not the best module in there.
There's something about the just the analog cockpit. I don't
agreed.
Like not in DCS, but real world. I see these touch screens, and I'm like, it's not like tactile. I don't really see how they work either. The F-35. If you're in a dogfight, you don't really want to be trying to stabilize your hand while you're turning to touch like a tiny. Non-texturized button on your screen, but I may be wrong, but it's just something about all those just things.
Yeah.
I'm the only one here that I love to see the mosquito. I don't know. I have this impression. Here.
I want to see
this is one of my favorite aircraft.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you then. That's my top favorite one ever. So
again, it has a really place in history, doesn't it? And I really want to see it comes out. When the P-47 came out, I was really into that, and still really into it.
Yeah.
Again,
the Thunderbolt, it's great aircraft, great module.
Yeah, and to just think how many bombing missions they've actually run, how many gun runs they've done in real life in anger.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's kind of what gets me a bit. It's like, how many gun runs in real life has an F-22 done, or missiles has it ever actually fired in anger? Any? It doesn't have any place in history, which is good because we haven't been in any big wars. I mean, that's why. And that's good, but it hasn't earned its place in history. For that kind of
you
thing,
also see like. I need to show you that, but it's It's gun cam footage from the mosquitoes on a raid in, I think it was
wow.
Yeah,
Norway.
yeah.
And you just see that, and you just see these guys in. It's just so cool, formation, firing rockets at a docked like ships and stuff, and it's just I think it's the admiration as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the new modules that are coming out are going to be really, really, really cool.
Yeah,
And the new islands that it's coming.
Yeah, the Marianas, they're
That's
coming out quite soon.
great.
They look amazing. They're going to be really good for cinematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that actually. That really is something a bit different, isn't it? So, yeah, it should look nice and sexy.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
That's that, guys. Anyone got any other topics or anything?
We had us three had a kind of little list that we were going to go through thing, and we had a couple questions. Oh, not like questions, but a few topics that we had. Actually, quite a few of you, if you've gone through them about like what goes into the cinematics and stuff. We've got our first question here that we had. The topic was the whole goal of our cinematics that we were going behind. So what was our whole kind of thing around it?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a question. I did log it in my mind. So we've talked about where you guys came from and where you got into it. Why do you do it? Okay, so for me, it's obviously changed a bit because it's now a full-time job for me. So my excuse is kind of gone. Although, if I wasn't getting paid for it, I'd still do it anyway. Like I did when I started. But for you guys, do you want to answer why you're actually doing it?
Doris, you want to go?
Fox, you go. You do it in like order, I
Yeah.
guess.
It's easier.
Why do I want to do cinematics? To show the community what DCS can really be. Like anyone in DCS can just get into an instant action or go into the mission editor and just set their aircraft down and at 8 a.m. in the morning, no clouds whatsoever, and the game, quite frankly, doesn't look very good. But like everything pre 2.7 was just showing just how good DCS can look, even without the new clouds. I still think that my most recent pre 2.7 video still looks as good as 2.7 does at the moment, because it just shows about the different kind of clouds things and how even before the 2.7 update, DCS still looked pretty good if you knew what you were doing. So my whole goal around it was to just show the community what was possible and to just show the passion around the whole cinematics thing.
Yeah.
Oh, GS?
Oh, for me, it was the reason to divorce my wife.
Need an excuse.
Okay, no, seriously. The only, I will agree with Fox2, and I will add that creating something. The only reason was that creating something, and that's the creation. Either it's a family or a painting or a photograph or a cinematic movie creation. Generally, it's creation that caught me.
I always had this idea, guys, and it probably is true, that you're either born a creator or a consumer, and neither is better than the other, and you need consumers and you need creators. But if you're born a creator, then you've got to create something, right? Whether it's this, because we're interested in aeroplanes, or whether it's, you're going to create something.
Yeah, totally.
LA, anything to add to that?
Oh, it's kind of the same as Skouras, but yeah, it's just, I enjoy doing it. And I enjoy more just seeing other people enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then, it's also... I just love making, because my cinematics focus around stories more than anything. A bit less so for the two recent ones. They have a kind of underlying story. I don't know how Skouras or Fox do it without,
don't have any clue how I make them. It's coming, it's a mess, totally.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, like I have absolutely no inspiration if there's not a story behind it, and that's why... I'm pretty inconsistent with my uploads, because I'm kind of like, first half is making the story and something else. But yeah, as Skouras said, it's creating something that it's cool. And again, it's
making a movie, it's totally different than a cinematic. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
whoever makes a movie, it's amazing. It requires a script, it requires a good voice actor, it requires a lot of things. Cinematography, for me, it's what I do. If you put me to make a movie, it's gonna be a mess. I don't know. It's much more difficult for me to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that really showed there was a clear difference in the amount of work that went in, especially between movies and cinematics, especially in the International Film Festival, because watching some of their movies was absolutely incredible. How well some of them
Huge
were.
amount of work there. Yeah.
Because it's not only just with cinematics, it kind of goes as recording a video and then editing the video. But with movies, it's script, voice acting, planning the story, recording, editing, and then everything else around it.
because you know that there are cinematics, but again, that's its own category, or cinematics slash videos. Cap does informational videos. We do more like cinematic, but then it keeps getting even more specific. So I do
like that information videos. Yeah, that's what I'm calling the next one, information video. That's great. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's just I do hybrid, so it's cinematic, but it has a story, and the story is influenced by the music as well. But yeah, going back to Fox, what Fox2 said like ages ago about just uniqueness. Everything's different. Everything we do is different from everyone else's. So yeah, it's just it's quite a deep topic in the DCS community, I guess.
I was when I kind of started out actually making kind of relatively serious movies, I was more along the storyline as well. For me, it always had to have a story. Now, everything I do is multiplayer and is based on my guys, but I would always try and make a story out of it. At the end of the day, you take off, you have a big ferry together, and you have a bit of a chat and relaxing. Then you would get in combat, someone would get shot down, and then some guys return. So I think I'm more of the LA side of things. Kind of lower quality LA side of things, of having a story, and the other thing I'm a little bit jealous of you guys. Your kind of answers have been very virtuous, and I've always been a bit more I don't know, greedy is the right word, but I always wanted to show me and my guys off. If you know what I mean. So I would always, when I'd have a guy in Signore and he does something good, and I would really want to show him and kind of make him look good. Or if another guy does a really good landing, I want to show him do a really good landing, so people would say, "Ooh, that guy's good." And I don't know, it's just it's kind of gone on its head now. I quite like embarrassing people, but that's I suppose you got to take the rough with the smooth. Yeah. So that's that. Any other topics on the list?
I've sent you. If you check your DMs, I've sent you something.
Roger, stand by. Pang. Okay, so cinematics and the whole goal of it. So, as we've discussed, there is no goal. It's just something we're going to do.
Yeah.
So, and the reasons why we do it. Aims in the future. Awesome. Okay, tell you what, guys. I've just got to go to the quick loo, so I'm just going to put it on pause for a second, if that's okay.
All right. Welcome back.
Right, okay, guys. And I should apologise at this point to the valued viewers how we've basically not structured this at all. We've just talked rubbish. But then again, that's what we said. We wanted to come on and literally just have a chat rather than, making it a kind of business type thing, which is great. However, we've got a little list here from the boys. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the aims and the future for us. So again, if we just go through each one of us, guys, shall we? In order. I shall start. God. Oh, talk about being put on the spot. The honest answer is just to kind of so I have a series of commitments that I've taken on. I want to cover every single thing that happens in DCS information wise, and there's a lot, so much goes on behind the scenes of, this little Mirage feature has been added and this little MIG feature has been added, so that taking that on. Also, I want to fulfill my commitments to the value viewer requests. They request things, usually stupid stuff to make a fool of me, but I do them because it makes people happy. Do that. And just the other stuff I do. So just to hang on, basically, cling on. I've always described the thing that I do as kind of a runaway train that never really was supposed to do what it did, and I'm just sort of clinging on with my legs dangling in the air, trying to. That's literally what every day is like. I'm not complaining at all. I'm just saying that's what it is. So just keep it roughly in the right direction, and I hope it's going to carry on. So it's not a very good answer, but that would probably be the truth. Fox.
I've always said to people that I never wanted a massive channel. I never want 1 million subs, because 1 million subs is a lot and a big responsibility, and it wouldn't fit well for my channel. So I don't want to get massive on YouTube, but I just want to be, I guess, for the channel and in general, is just to kind of be a well-known creator in the space, like a lot of people, like, let's say, Alpha Whiskey and Adrian, the guys who make the really, really big cinematics, like DCS fan movie and that kind of trilogy. That's the kind of thing. But also one more thing, and I've always wanted this, and I've always been trying my very hardest to try and get this, is I want to be able to work with third parties, just like Adrian Carapso did with Heatblur, and probably a few others I'm forgetting. But I've always wanted to work with some sort of third party on modules, because that's it, just being part of the whole DCS Eagle Dynamics like sphere of the scheme of the whole thing. It would be just a dream come true in regards to anything, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the guys would probably agree with me on that's what they would probably also like to do.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to think, this goes in terms of video makers and in terms of module and mod makers, is that everyone started. So if you're looking, let's say you're looking up to a particular video maker who works with ED all the time, he started just, what we're doing with no affiliation at all. And, after long enough, your hard work always gets recognised. And, one way or another, then you'll end up working with the bigger guys or whatever it is, who you want to work with. So absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
GS?
So yeah, for me, if I see Fox2 or L.A.West here, and someone of third-party developers take him, and I will pretty happy. Like I'm winning. Seriously, I have a real life job. I'm a theologist, biologist. Even if I wanted something like that, I could not do it because I don't have, many free hours every day. So for me, the future, it's about, creating, and leave a good comment. That's, for me, it's pretty much happy. It's enough for me.
Roger. Good. Philosophy. LA?
Well, not really sure. I haven't really thought that far ahead, but if I could do something in the movie industry, that'd be pretty cool. Again, something to do with aviation is, or something very high on my list. I'm very happy, when I'm around planes, if I'm honest. So,
Same here.
Yeah, something like that. And in the air. Yeah, and it's kind of the same with Skouras and Fox. It's just, yeah. If someone takes me on, it's such a cool experience all the time working with other people, and I don't really know how to end it off, but yeah.
Yeah. So I guess again, the thing is just keep doing what you're doing, and eventually, you'll get noticed by the person you want to get noticed by. Right. That's pretty much all you can do.
Creating something and you meet other creators is great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. You don't need anything more than that. It's great.
Roger.
Yeah, like this is the first time I've actually heard Skouras.
Yeah. We speak on YouTube, but we never speak. That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks to Fox
so
too,
cool.
Mr. Cap here, and that's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Roger. That's one thing I really like about. I mean, I guess this applies to any community, but for me, a lot of it is about the people. I mean, we all like the planes and we all like this and that, but I love meeting and talking to the people. I love doing the interviews, talking to real life aviators and meeting all the people. I find it so fascinating dealing with people. People with a kind of a like mind, and the lucky thing, because we're all in the same community, more or less, we're all roughly like-minded. I'm not going to talk to some makeup artist or something. Do you know what I mean? Someone you can have a good chat with, and we all roughly sort of have the same rough views on things. And do you know what I mean? I just really enjoy that.
Yeah. This is something different, and that's a great episode of videos today. I mean, I really hope to help some people. I mean, because after the 2.7, I see a lot of people making videos, and that's great. And asking around, and I really hope to help some people today.
Yeah.
The boys here.
Roger, guys.
Totally. Also, with the DCS community being so small, you're able to meet. Like, if you wanted to, if you were looking up to someone, you're able to actually talk to them pretty easily. I mean, I've talked to a lot of the people who I've looked up to, and it's a dream come true, because like in other communities, people could only dream of that, and you'd have to be extremely lucky to be able to talk to the people who you've been looking up to and base your content around for years, and so being able to just talk to him is just amazing. Especially with UCAP. I mean, I've been watching GR for close to 2 years now. And 2 years later, I'm talking to you. Like, it's incredible. Amazing.
No, it's true. Everyone, well, just about everyone is just super accessible. Just like you said. I've never actually thought about it, literally, until you said that. I've just kind of taken it for granted. But if I want to go talk to anyone, really, you just kind of say, hi, do you want to do this? And they're like, okay. And do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't think I've ever had anyone just say, ooh, I'm not going to talk to you, even when I wasn't really very known at all. But it goes to stuff as, I don't know, I shouldn't really get into ED and stuff like that. But I've got some good guys in ED that I can talk to and stuff like that. But okay, guys. Aims for the future. That was interesting. What goes into them? We've kind of covered that, really. Anything want to add? Anyone want to add anything to what goes into making the videos?
Blood, sweat, tears, and Red Bull. There you go.
Swearing. I don't know. I tell you what. I got the worst. Addison will attest to this. I got the worst mouth when it comes to editing, because the camera's off at that point, and I'm just being myself, and I swear so much. I'm like, oh, for effing's sake, for effing, but even for the tiniest little thing, it's just me. It's, you guys are probably completely different, but I just sit there swearing, saying all kinds of horrendous words at it, but we get there in the end.
Yeah. It's frustrating most of the time. But once you get it done, it's just amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'd probably just add, just for anyone who's wondering, I guess, is just, a lot of my videos have real life audio for basically every section of it. So my process is, get the music, get the clip, and then kind of find a real life clip of what's happened and kind of put it in. And then I also use real life communications from, real dogfights and, maybe some red flag dogfights. And just a lot of people have been asking me, so I guess I'll just say it here, but just the reason I find them, or how I find them, is literally just typing up, dogfight audio or stuff like that.
Sometimes I use explosions from Battlefield game.
Yeah.
You believe it? Yeah.
God, I remember that. I remember I used to add back in the day, when I started, I think by the sounds of it before you guys, again, we take the effects and stuff for granted, but back in 5 years ago, the effects and stuff was so bad in DCS. Explosions.
Yeah.
I had to put all my own explosion sounds in. I'll just sample them from steal them from wherever, and I had to go and add all of these because they were so like MIDI, 25-year-old sounds. But obviously, it's all been sorted out now, which is nice. But remember that. God, I'm gonna go back there again. Okay, guys. So what else we got? I keep showing my Discord, and I'm not allowed to. The boys bollock me for that. So let me go find Fox's comment. Next is favourite styles. Okay, so we'll just blast through each. So I do. I'll just sell myself quickly. So I do educational ones, which are just educational, and they're literally just me being as professional as I can, which is not very. The kind of missions and the campaigns, which is just, again, trying to tell a 2-hour story from start to finish as best I could. And the third is just complete messing around with RC. So third, and third. And those are the things I pretty much do. Yourself, Fox.
In regards to cinematics, because I don't really watch much other DCS content other than cinematics
Yeah,
and mostly
same here, sadly.
stuff. It's gotta be the ED videos. That the style that comes from them is very much a it's a weird way of putting it. It's just a very calming kind of thing, but then it's just gets your you get your hairs standing up on your arm and stuff, and you get in chills and stuff most of the time when watching them, and it's just the fact of the use of sound effects and the use of shots and real life audio and stuff like that. It's just amazing. By far my favorite video that's come from Eagle Dynamics and is got to be DCS 2021 and beyond. Big one there from there. It's an incredible video. If no one's watched it, if anyone who's watching hasn't watched it yet, you have to go check it out. It's it's a work of art.
Yeah.
By far. It's incredible.
Yeah, Glowing Abram is great. I mean, it's a Skywatcher of DCS cinematography is great.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Same for me. Goes exactly.
So the same kind of thing for you, GS?
Yeah, exactly.
Roger.
Yeah, I just do like hybrid. I just came up with that because it fits it quite well. But just hybrid cinematics, so story and music, and that's it.
Roger. Roger, guys. Okay. Tips for you guys. I mean, I think I've said everything I can, which for me was just do what you want and don't try and fit in anyone's mold, or you've got to do what makes you happy. I don't have any useful advice really. Any other useful bits of advice you can think of giving onto other people?
The main thing for cinematics, the one thing that I always go back to is make the shots as far from the default shots. So if you have an F2 is a standard shot and the plane's not doing anything, don't use that. The F4 views that you can use, you can change the camera around. So don't have it so where on the F18, if you press F4, it'll go just straight onto the wing. You can change the camera around to go to different stuff. So you can get a shot of the nose. You can get a shot of the pilot on the thing, like a helmet cam. You can get as a cockpit shot, afterburners, whatever. You can also use of F3 is essential. You have to use external zooms in and out, and with track IR. Track IR is a big thing for cinematics. If you don't have track IR and you're trying to get really good at cinematics, you have to get it, because even if it's something that can just move the view around without a mouse, that's the main thing I give. And also F11, the free view mode. Believe it or not, you can go into formation with the aircraft in the F11 views, and that's where the bulk of most of my videos now
it's hard, isn't it?
Come from.
It's hard.
It's hard, but once you get to it, get good enough at it, it's pretty easy to do it. But one thing, this is a message to Eagle Dynamics, right? You used to, before 2.7, you were able to get the speed up on the F11 camera while paused, but you can't do that now.
Yeah.
Right.
That is so annoying.
Because you can't do it off pause because you miss your shot. You miss your shot.
You
can use the decrease time while in pause. What I do now is that.
Yeah, but it's iffy, and it was a lot easier before.
Yeah.
Being able to do it. But I do like the WASD where you can move the camera forward and back. It's very it's extremely useful for F11 now. But yeah, for anyone who's doing it, use FreeCam. Make sure the shots are as far away from the original as possible. Avoid like standard cockpit shots. Use track IR and use external zooms in and out. Those are my big ones. They make your videos shine really well.
Yeah.
That's great advice. I mean, I knew most of that already. I just couldn't pick my brain. Really good advice. And
I mean, every creator uses its own tricks, and if Fox2 tells you the tricks, you are not going to use it the same way.
Yeah, totally.
Every creator have to put hours from his life to find his own. I mean, Fox2 already tell one thing that is very correctly, among other things, that be original. You're gonna find your style eventually.
Yeah.
If I just add something, I mean, Fox has covered most of it, but it's just, Track AR. If anyone's considering getting it, just get it. It's so worth it. Or if not Track AR, something that mimics it, because you can make your homemade ones.
So I've got a homemade one. So my understanding of why it's useful is that if you got two options. You got one, use the mouse to look around, when making a video, or two, use Track AR to look around, and but with using the mouse, it's completely non-organic. It's jerky, and you know what I mean. You can always tell when someone's used a mouse to do it. When you use Track AR, it has inbuilt software that makes it kind of organic and flow and not stop and start.
Yeah, and it's the imperfections as well, because obviously your head's not stationary the whole time.
That's exactly it. And so that's just like a real camera would be, because the real camera, even a professional cameraman, will move slightly, won't he? And it'll move about slightly. And you can tell if a camera is locked onto something, it never looks it looks gamey, doesn't it? Because in the back of your mind, you've seen enough movies to know that the camera never, it can't happen. It can't lock onto something like that. For some reason it just works beautifully, perfectly.
Totally. Along with the F3 views, the F3 is from a stationary position, and it's focused on the aircraft the entire time as it goes past. But with Track IR, if you set your curves up correctly in your software, you're able to get the aircraft, the view, completely off to the side. You can get it to 90 degrees off.
Yep.
And so what you can do then is you can basically just use the F3 views as the aircraft's coming towards you, but you don't actually see the aircraft until it's gone past you. That's a really, really, really useful tool for getting flyby shots, especially if you want it. As Cap said, the realism aspect of it being, not perfect. Because if it's perfect, it doesn't look good, and that's the problem. And so, with the jerkiness of the mouse gone with Track IR, you're able to get the really flowy version of it, and it's just amazing it's amazing for cinematics.
And just a quick fire, and just kind of finish what I was going to say is just there are so many tutorials on how to do the camera. I suggest watching them, and the main thing for me is that there'll be a bar in the bottom of your screen when you record, which has the information of the speed of the camera or the plane, or whatever. Just literally just Control YY 3 times gets rid of it, and also there's in the files of the game there's camera ground restriction. I probably won't explain it well, but just type in on Google, you'll probably come up with a Reddit post and hog it. It just that gets rid of the camera interaction with the ground, so you can literally get directly on top of the the tarmac instead of being stopped. Those are my just big points.
It's quite I've pressed all those buttons so many times, left control Yankee and stuff like that. People keep asking me, how do you do that, how do you get, and I can't actually answer because I do it all by muscle memory. I can't actually remember what is that. And another one, left control, some guy asked the other day, left control, left shift and Y, I think, to get rid of another little bit, another little nasty bit. And I can never actually think. I have to go into the game and actually do it, and then sort of watch my fingers. Like, that's what it is.
Shift F11 as well. They've added a new thing. It's pretty good, but in the new update you have to click it like a couple times. But Shift F11 gets rid of the blue. I don't know what they're called. Blue, like just the symbols for the aircraft.
The labels.
Yeah, labels.
Labels.
Right. Yeah. I think it's three or four, I'm not sure, gets rid of them because they've added a thing where you can shrink it down to like a dot. Yeah, just that's also another thing.
Okay.
I have my whole setup in regards to the removal of the bar at the bottom and the labels, and my Track IR reset. It's all on one line on my keyboard. It's Control Shift, Alt Shift, and I think it's Shift. No, not Shift and space, Control space, and Alt space. That's all my stuff for like all the essentials, so it's really useful. So I'd definitely do that if you were getting into cinematics.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's one thing. A lot of the default commands are actually really useful in DCS are weird. If you know what I mean, they're like left tilde plus delete plus, and then you got your other hand over there, escape. You get really weird things. So
if anyone's going to get into it, change the external zoom. I have it as plus and enter on my.
Exactly,
really?
exactly the same.
Numpad.
Okay, well I always had Z and X, so I would have left hand always Z and X there, and I've gone to the one on the left of Z. So the left hand sitting there, zooming in and out, and that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just change it.
You
to
know
something
what?
that's
You know
not
what?
a activation.
One thing I realised when talking about this is there is actually quite a lot to it, because it's all muscle memory to us. We don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Whereas a new guy who's got none of this muscle memory, doesn't know any of these commands, must be thinking, oh, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff when you think about it. Again, I don't know. Yeah, we just do it.
If one update has released today, it's gonna change the whole thing. You can remember how it called then to change it again. You go to the options, and it happens to me every time.
Oh, well, that is so annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know the default key.
One thing I've learned, because of half of the battle of DCS is getting your controls set up, as I'm sure you're aware. Every time you get a new joystick and you set up 40 new modules, which sounds easy, not. It's really hard, as in really hard. One thing I've learned is to try keep stuff as unedited as possible, i.e. only edit what you really need to edit. The rest, just leave it. Because otherwise, a new patch will come out and it'll all get reset, and oh god.
Yeah, totally. A lot of the stuff that I was using for cinematics and stuff, first off, was I have a warthog, and I have on my right or left, it's one of the two hats on the warthog. I had that binder to F1, F2, F3, and F5, and so I have external zoom mapped onto my HOTAS, so I can be flying and actually just do it live instead of using track files, which is really, really useful for like quick stuff. Like if you wanted a quick F3 shot, you can get the external zoom and everything going on, and you can get the quick back into the thing. And I don't know if I don't know how many recording softwares actually have the capability to do this, but if you have a HOTAS that has a button that you don't use on it, map that to your stop and start on your recording, because then you can just fly, record, and not even have to touch your keyboard whatsoever.
Yeah, page up and page down is my thingy.
Really? Oh, that's dangerous, guys. I would hit it by accident. I thought of the idea, but instead, no, I keep it sat right in the middle of my left screen, and that mouse has got to go over to the other screen and click, because what happens is I know I'm going to record a 3-hour movie, and halfway through, as in, I have to record the live thing, and halfway through I'm going to click it off by accident, and that's it. I'll never get that back, because, it's all done with the guys live, and so I have to make sure to turn that off. It's a very difficult thing to do, but what you guys are doing, that sounds like a good idea, actually. Easy way of doing it.
Totally.
Okay, guys, that was a really good chat, and I'm pretty much talked out. Is there anything I can't think of anything we haven't covered. It was good that you got onto that stuff at the end there, because I just completely forgot all about all that stuff, about the technicalities of how we do this and how we do that. Anything you can think we've missed off?
No.
I've got nothing.
There is one thing, actually, guys. I like to organise events, obviously, like the IFF. I'm going to do lots more of those, because it helps show you guys off, and it's just good for everyone. The next one we're doing is it is air show. Okay, we're doing an air show where the guys who are going to perform in the air show have to send me their videos of them doing their air show within a set of rules, just like the IFF basically, and then I'll just stitch it all together and have a large video and all the prizes we're giving out and stuff like that. Now, you guys may not be interested in performing, but you may be interested in making some of the videos. So, for instance, you may get a guy that's a really amazing performer at X, Y, or Z, but not so good at making videos, and you may want to team up with them and kind of make their video. So my invitation video comes out tomorrow. If you're interested at all, have a look. Again, it's something different that you might be interested in. You might not. Anyway, but see what you think.
I'll have to take a look.
Yeah.
I have a few things on that I need to get sorted, but
Yeah.
it all depends on when it is mostly, and whether I have stuff on at the moment.
Roger, guys. We'll see what you think. See what you think anyway. That. Anything else before we sign off, guys?
Well, just thank you for doing this.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
That was
been
great.
awesome.
And Fox2 for the great, things that they wrote and he thinks about for the huge amount of work. And Mr. Cap here for this event. That was great.
Pleasure,
I
guys.
really love it.
Love speaking to people. So it's all about for me. Just loving speaking to the people. Okay, guys.
Yeah. I got one thing. I just want to say thank you for letting us on here and actually giving us a bigger platform to actually speak our minds on. Because, I mean, you got a very, very large amount of subs compared to us, and so we don't get the voice to speak about this type of topic on, and we just want to let more people know about this type of cinematics and videos and what goes into them. And it's great to be able to talk to a very big community channel that allows us to give us this voice to talk about this type of thing. So I just want to say thank you for letting us on.
Absolutely, guys. Yeah, no, always welcome. And again, if you ever, I'm always, as you know, my door is always open. So if you ever want to do something, you ever want to, I don't know, there's always projects about, then give me a shout. And I almost always say yes if it's possible to do. So just give me a shout if you want to do anything else.
That's great.
Will do. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks again.
All right,
Thank you
guys.
very much.
Thanks very much. I'll speak to you
Oh,
soon.
one thing.
Send.
Someone, are we recording right now?
Yes, but I can turn it off if you want.
Oh, yeah, I turned it off.
Okay.